Sorry about that. Welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk. And today is Wednesday. I'm so glad today is Wednesday. I am your host, Shane. And we have an interesting dialogue on tonight. Actually, tonight is part 2 of cheating. And we do have a special guest that is coming on, Miss Lecia Washington. She was with us on the first episode. And now this is by popular demand that you ladies and gentlemen out there in internet land, you asked for more dialogue, so I'm going to bring it to you. So first and foremost, I have to do my little commercial. Okay. So those of you in the NYC area and Lakeland, Florida, Tampa, and Orlando that are looking for a great cleaning service with wonderful rates. We know that it's the summertime. We have barbecues, we have parties, we have birthday parties, anniversaries, wonderful things, and you're looking for a great cleaning service. You can reach us at 347-838-1411, 347-838-1411 at emeraldempire330@gmail.com. And yes, we have cleaning services from NYC to Florida. So again, this is the flyer. I promote it all the time. Go ahead and give us a call. Let us know how we can help or assist with your cleaning needs with your home. So now that we got that out the way, so we're going to bring back on tonight's guest. Okay? So we want to make sure that out there in internet land, that you wonderful people could see us. We're live. So we're sharing. The sharing is caring. And we're bringing to you episode 2 of cheating. Now, we had a great feedback from the first episode. And I would say that this was a new territory for me, because I never speak about relationships. And even though this is a hot topic that's trending and people are finding their lives, they're finding what works for them. People are breaking free of situationship, courtship, marriageship, situationship, relationships, and whatever ship that you decide to be on. People are breaking free from these things, and they are no longer. They said, I'm not dealing with this here. Man or woman, because we don't discriminate. We know that it's not only women that's going through this, although, you know, the way things are set up, I don't know, it's given very much, you know. Okay, so we are bringing back on. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and I want her to go ahead and promote her company, her ministry. You know that she had, y'all hear her baby in the background. I was just talking about her right before. Now you say behind back, I said right in her face. She has children, daughters, 3 different ages in life. So I could imagine the amount of prayers. She got an adult. Mm-hmm. She has a teenager, and she has a toddler. So I can't imagine. You heard that baby girl screaming. She was screaming in the background. Not screaming, but she's just playing, but you can hear her in the background. What did you say you have? You have, what's the abbreviation?
I have ATT.
ATT. Explain to internet land, what exactly is ATT?
ATT is adult, teenager, and toddler children is what I have. So y'all pray for me. ATT.
She says y'all pray for her. And I'm telling you, it's motherhood never stops. I don't care what age.
No.
And God designed us.
Yeah, never stops. You don't get to check out. You don't get to not show up, because when you don't show up, they come to you. So at the end of the day, you just want to.
I'm sorry.
Flip your sign around and you know, but you can't do that. So. So that's what it is. It's ATT. That's what it is. It's ATT.
Sorry, y'all. It's my phone. Don't worry about it. I'm spreading so everyone can come on. So y'all hear the echo. I apologize. These things happen. I turned the speaker off so y'all can hear us clearly. Okay, so I want you to promote your. I was trying to get the flyer up, but I can't. I wanted her
Mm-mm.
flyer to come. Oh, sugar bug. Wreck the wall.
Yes. So I have a ministry. It's called Wreck the Walls. And what we do is I have it twice a month, every other Friday. And what we do is we come together and we discuss issues that we need to wreck the walls on. As women, we don't always get an opportunity to come together and collaboratively and put our brains together and come to a solution for wrecking the walls. So, and myself is included. Sometimes I have to release my wrecking ball on my walls as well. So,
Now, when can we log on to view it? What days do you have this?
I have it every other Friday. So I had the last one was not this Friday, but the Friday before. So the next one will be not this coming Friday, but next Friday.
Okay, so yeah, I've heard it first. I'm going to go ahead. I don't know if I was able to post this one, but the first one I did post, you have to forgive me. It seemed like work is working. Okay, these people making you work for all your little coins. So I was on. I happened to be on for the last group chat. I had to log off, but it was wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and post her information where you can reach her. If you don't see it inside, and my wonderful assistant does not post it, I will have it on my wall for those of you that do want to come on and chime on. Damn. So let's do a recap of last show because y'all was coming for me. Chaplain, Shamika, Shane, whatever y'all decide to call me on that day, I want to hear you do more dialogue about this. And I told y'all it was just a little touchy topic, and I can relate, I can release, and some things I'm still working on. Okay, so we spoke about cheating. We spoke about I don't think we did who cheats the most, or we just gave different scenarios and different scenes of cheating, whether it was divorce, whatever type of ship you are on, whatever type of relationship, whether it's male or female. We spoke and expounded on that. I don't think we got to ways that you can get out of situations or ways you can realize, maybe this sounds real urban, but how you can realize, or how do you see, how to know that you're actually in a situation to where you are having to deal with cheating. Okay, we gave different examples of it. We both came with two different angles on it. You know, and we do not discriminate here. We respect each other's viewpoints, and we're just going to build from there. So, since the show, has anyone come up to you about this topic, or why don't you expound more on it? Or now I know a few people that are going through divorces and things like that. Right. So we're trying to shed some light. I'm trying to be proper and correct with it, but cheating is what most people deal with on a daily basis. For sometimes it is.
That's your sister.
No, I want you. It is the biggest talk. It's the biggest topic besides narcissists, different mental illnesses that is going on right now, currently in 2023. Okay, so we want to shed some light. If you have questions for us, we're going to go ahead and do our best to answer those things. And we're just gonna go ahead and dive in. Y'all see, I'm trying to study. So okay, so I'm going to do what I can do. Okay, so let's pick it back up from cheating. So most of us have experienced. I believe we all have experienced it. Now, if I'm wrong and nothing ever happened to you, this never happened to you, this okay. It's not a wonderful feeling.
No.
From the one that is being cheated on to the one that is doing the cheating.
Correct.
Male or female. And some women, men right now, current status, this thing could have happened 10, 15, 20 years ago. And some people have not released it. You have people that I realize that are tied in marriages and they accepted their spouse back. And that grudge, that hurt, that pain has rooted, grew wonderful vines, trees, fields, acres. Okay, so my question for you today, tonight, I'm sorry, I got a text, is what can we do? How can we get past that part? Is there a way to get past that? Is there a support team for us? I'm gonna let you take the floor.
Um, I don't know. I guess it depends on the individual because everybody is different. Um, some people are able to actually do the work together, and they are able to go to counseling or go to therapy and complete all of the sessions, and they're able to save their marriage. Some people are. Some people are not able to do that. And the people that are not able to do that, the solution for them is divorce, and you have to separate. And of course, I think that the biggest victims of cheating is the person that you cheated. It's either your spouse or your children suffer the most. That's what I'm saying.
You don't think the person themselves suffer the most?
I think they suffer a different way though. They suffer from whatever their deal the lack of whatever they did not deal with prior to the incident. But yeah, they suffer as well because it's they acted on an emotion, and now the emotion has cost them everything because a lot of times you can't save it. So that's what happens. And in that process, you know, you have to, if you were the person that was cheated on, then now you have to go to therapy, you have to do the proper healing steps, you have to get into a support group, and then you're kind of you're not it takes time. Some people heal quick. Some people, it depends on the time of the marriage or the relationship. It takes them a little bit longer for them to get through that process. And some people don't never get through the process. So
Uh-huh.
that's why they
I
end up,
realize that.
you know, they stay by themselves, and they are kind of like they turn cold towards relationships. So
Um,
it just depends on the person.
yeah. I it's happened to me personally. Um, the moving on stage, uh, it was not easy. The anger part, not easy.
Mhm.
I think with people get into these relationships or marriages, you have to really realize or assess who you're dealing with. And
Mhm.
I had a revelation the other day. I think that we can try to get some understanding of who you're dealing with, but people change and evolve. Now, when you change and you evolve or you get older, I think sometimes people change not for the good or for the bad. I think
Mhm.
because the person that you meet in the beginning does not end up the person that you're with 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line or
Mhm.
completely. And then, I hear different terms that they have on TikTok. And it's like this stage, this stage, this stage, and you're dumb for allowing it to happen again. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I hear all that you say. I'm not disputing that. But do you really catch the red flags? Do you really see? It's just so many steps to where a woman or a man, depending on what it is, they don't want to be in a relationship. Then you have women that I find are just baffling me. You have women that know that their spouses cheating or have cheat,
Mhm.
and they still stay there until the
Well, this is the thing. I think people are more interested in um, they're more interested in company than commitment and covenant.
mm,
They just want, I want the company of us supposedly being in a relationship, or I would like to say that that we're courting, just to say that, but we're not going past that. We're just seeing each other. So you have to be specific, and you have to make sure that you're asking for clarity when you get into these relationships and they're saying things like that. Okay, well, yeah, we're courting. Okay, well, how long are we going to court? Until it gets, to a specific level of sincerity. Are we? And then you have to ask for the definition of what is courting. Are we openly courting, or what does that mean? So you have to make sure that you are asking for the true clarity of the definitions that are just be thrown around, because if you're not careful, you'll get caught up in just somebody just throwing words loosely at you, and you're thinking that, oh, okay, this is something solid, and it's very weak. So
Now,
you have
even I'm
mind
sorry.
you have to be very mindful of that.
Now on, I think it was sometime last week. I'm gonna say Saturday, Sunday on TikTok. Yes, I'm a TikTok head. Okay, so on TikTok there was a gentleman. He has his own podcast. So asked me what's his name. I was just listening to it, and it was listening to the question. It was stated that men or women should know within 3 months whether or not they want to move to the next phase with you. Do you think that's true, or that's too short of a time?
No, I think that
I think that's good.
yes, that's relevant. 90 days.
90 days.
90-day trial and error. Yeah.
Before you
you're
now,
trying to figure out what if this is a good fit for you. So yes, you have to do that.
okay, 90 days is good. Now you think within the 90 days, he or she says, okay, I want to move to the next step. I'm going to use the term you just used, courting, right? So then you go ahead and you proceed now 6 months down the line. Then you made the year. Then the year goes by. The year's okay, y'all doing whatever you're doing, traveling. You actually like each other. Everything is the honeymoon phase. I call it like the illusion, because you really, really don't know that behind the scenes or prior to you that there might have been another relationship, and people have a habit of moving on from relationship and not closing the door and going into a new one. And sometimes people don't realize that in that space time, you're supposed to be healing, finding yourself, closing chapters, getting the revelation on that I'm moving to the next one. This is who I want to be. So then when they do what I love, and I know you probably have experienced it, they spin the block because the ex come back around and X is sounding really good. And then they realize that they got you or they got him. And then it's like, okay, but I'm going to still see where my ex is at. And I'm still going to talk to my ex. And then while I'm talking, and X and them wind up reconciling. And then next thing you know, you got two people. So now across the board, everybody getting cheated on. Time goes on, because I don't know how men do this. I don't know how women do this, because 1 year turns into 3 years, 3 years turn into 5, 5 years turn into 9, 9 years turn into 10. Then you realize that he or she might have had a whole entire another family. So in this time frame, what are the signs that you can tell people out there in internet land to look out for when these things? I mean, we as women have natural intuition. Yes. Like we feel like something is wrong. We feel like there's an intruder. We know it, right? The only thing is we don't have the proof.
Yeah.
Black and white proof.
Right.
God to show up in a dream. You get a revelation. Your mother might tell you something, things like that. But the black and white concrete proof. And so what happens is, because we've all done it, I can say that because I've done it. We sit around and we wait until the next morning to see if something new is going to happen. And then down the line, guess what? Nothing new happened. And guess what? So the cheating becomes more intense. It becomes more intense. So what are the signs that you can advise young men and women, if you have any, and if you have an experience, you could speak on it, just to surface, and if you can advise the internet land on what are the signs to look for when these things start to happen.
What are some of the signs that you look for? Is their pattern changes, their movement changes, their characteristic changes. Um, all of a sudden, when you come into the room, the conversation just changes. Those are things that you have to look for. All of a sudden, you have access to, you guys have a shared password. All of a sudden, the password, you locked out the password now. So they've changed the password so you no longer have access to that. Um, or they're starting to, they're hiding messages and um, they have social media under different names.
Oh, I like that one. I never experienced that one.
Who are you really?
I never had that experience before.
Woo, yeah, they'll change their name just like they try to change their status very, very quickly. But yeah, those are the things. It's just like they'll lie and say that they're living with their friends or they're staying with their friends or they're hanging out with their friends. And you now, mind you, you're married and your spouse is telling you they're going to hang out with single friends. Why are you going to hang out with single friends and you married, sir? Ma'am, that's not what you need to be doing. There's nothing wrong with that individuality. I just want to clarify that. There's nothing wrong with you having outside friends. But when you are married and you're talking to people late, what are y'all talking about? What are you talking about? Then all of a sudden the whole conversation shifts when your mate walks in the room. No, that's not good. That's a red flag. That's a conversation. But you have to be careful. These are things that you have to kind of do a mind check. Like, okay, check. And then when the situation is a little bit more calmer and you can approach it in a decent adult manner, then you can have that conversation. Now I'm gonna tell you, when you approach it, it don't matter how adult you try to be, it's gonna ruffle their feathers because they had no idea that you was really paying that much attention to the changes in their actions. So now you checking up on me. Now what you don't trust
me. Tabs on me.
Now you trying to keep tabs on me. Now why you asking me how long am I gonna be? You have a characteristic of cheating. You have a history of not being loyal. You have a history of lying. You have a history of whatever the history is. That's what you need to speak to because you have a history of this. And a lot of times you don't see it the first year. You see it a little bit going into
about the third,
third year. That's when you see it because the first year they like, I just want to be on the straight and narrow, trying to make sure they're trying. Year 1.5 going into 2, you start seeing a little different things like,
okay. I think the third year, I don't know what is about the third, if you're in a marriage, something about that third year, everything is like
3 to, I think it's 3 to 5 and 5 to 7 and 7 to 10. That's the window. 3 to 5 is like those are like your testy areas. Once you make it to 5, you kind of good. 5 to 7, they call them the golden years because
it's not, it is, but
you're starting to blend good together, mesh well together is what they say. And then 7, and then once you're over 10, then you should be in the clear.
No.
No?
Well, 9 years and then everything came out. So yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Was this a marriage or relationship?
Relationship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. We have Robert Perkins, Minister Perkins, Councilman Perkins, who says sometimes they suffer from getting caught.
Yes. Yes, they do. They suffer from getting caught. A lot of times we don't know that there are underlying issues that have not been dealt with. So these are conversations, especially if they are coming from a traumatic past. Like you got to dig a little bit deeper and ask, like, okay, what happened? Um, did you get counseling? No, you didn't get
No,
counseling. Okay, well,
no,
did you go to the pastor, or did you talk to your,
no.
did you talk to your shepherd? Or no, you didn't do that. Okay, no. So now you're kind of like, okay, then it may not be that bad. Let me see if I can help you. So
Mhm.
now you trying to take on the responsibility of
The overload.
correct being the overload because you're the closest person. So
Hmm.
since you're the closest person, you feel like, okay, I'm the closest person. I can extend more help
Hmm.
because I'm interacting with you all day long, or whatever the situation, we live together, or we're married, or we're in a business together, so I can help you because
Hmm.
I'm with you all day, or I'm around you all day, so I know the things, or I know your niche, so I can kind of like steer you back on the track. That doesn't work.
It don't.
It's draining. It's exhausting. They use you as a dumping ground, and then they roll over you frontwards and backwards. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It when it. I,
Mm-mm.
first off, let me do background. When I think it's different components that do lead to cheating. I think if you grew up and you saw it, whether it be aunt, uncle, grandmother, mother, okay, and in our community there was a lot of things that took place traumatic, and it was considered acceptable.
Mhm.
And what stays in the house, what goes on in the house stays in the house.
Yeah, but you know what? We as an adult, um, that's not true because what goes on in this house can't stay in this house because now that it's rooted into an individual, they're not going to just stay into this house. They're going to leave out of this house and go into somebody else's house.
But
So,
now, you're absolutely right. Now, for right now, the way things are, um, and the way people are getting past their hurt and their trauma, saying it now makes absolutely sense. I'm talking about being in those eras and in that time frame. A lot of times when people went through these things in their home, it was a kept secret. You
yeah,
had
right.
so many outside babies, you had so many outside situations that have taken place. And like I said, in our community, we don't. It was always said not to speak about it.
Right.
Because it was just like, water under the rug. You knew grandpa, you knew your dad, or you knew. And I'm not pinpointing. I'm just giving examples so y'all don't come for me in the chat. I'm just saying that if these things took place, it was always covered up. Your great grandmother, big mom, whatever it was, they knew what was going on, but they turned a blind eye and kept closed, kept
Mhm.
their eyes closed, kept their mouth shut. Okay. In
Mhm.
this era, not only are we identifying, but now you see that this cheating also mental health goes into to it too.
Mhm.
Um, Not just about taking accountability. Where is your mental state in all of this? Where is
Mhm.
your spiritual state in all of this? What actually do you believe in? And now, more is being revealed. A lot of men do not like women.
What?
Yeah, they
Wow.
have animosity towards their moms or their grandmothers or their sisters. They just feel like it is more that could be done. Hi, it's my cousin. It's more that could be done, and they felt that the roles that women play, and it goes all over because this is bigger than just this conversation with you and I.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, Topic cheating. Because I listen to different podcasts on, and I'm trying to be politically correct.
Mhm.
It's bigger than just okay. Well, I'm gonna mess up this home, and then I'm gonna go mess up another home. You're saying it for what it really is.
Mhm.
For it's a seed that's dropped, that's planted, and the branches
Mhm.
grow out to a bush, to a field, to an acre. And
Mhm.
the amount of lives that's messed up with this is
It's endless.
it is.
You know, because whomever was in that household is affected by it. So if it was 6 people in that household, 5 out of the 6 people include, well, no, I'm sorry, all 6 of them are affected,
Absolutely.
including the person that has done the cheating. Because now they're like, oh, um, it was an accident. I didn't think that it was going to go that far. Yada yada yada. She was just a friend. She was just helping. He was just a friend. He was just helping. Yada yada yada. It's way more than just a friend, and she was doing way more than just helping you. Okay, come on now. Let's be clear.
Or somebody I knew, we grew up together. My
Yeah,
mother knows.
we
Like,
friends. You know
what?
what I'm saying? You and this is the thing that people don't want to come clean about. It's just when you get caught, you always want to make it seem like the person that had the intuition is crazy.
Oh, the
They always
smear
want
and
to
not
make
to
it
mention
seem
the
like
smear
you
campaign that goes
tripping,
behind
you
it.
insecure, you got trust issues. That's just my friend. I've been knowing her for so long, and it's vice versa. I mean, because it could go both ways. I've been knowing him for so long. You tripping? It don't have to be like that. Yada yada yada. But when you lay down those standards and say, okay, if you're saying y'all just friends, call them up. Let me hear
Let me
how you
tell
talk.
you. Yeah. Let me see how you talk.
Let me see how your friend talks to you.
Right.
Don't say I'm calling. My husband is on the phone. No, don't say that. Call your friend and talk to your friend like you would normally do. I need to see that. And that is how you can kind of dialogue, and that is how you can kind of gauge what is going on. They don't want to talk to you when you're around your mate, or they talk to you in a different tone, or they talking to you kind of sarcastically. You like, why would they say something like that to a married man? Why would you have a conversation like that with a
Why
married
they
woman?
so comfortable?
And yeah, so the level of comfort, somebody had to drop or open the door and say, it's okay for you to come in here and it's okay for you to talk like that. Because
Yeah.
had you said, yo, there's a line right there. I can't cross that line with you because I'm married. No, you open it up by saying you having different conversations. It could be something that your spouse did, and you're having a conversation with somebody else whose antennas is already up because they want you. So of course they're gonna listen to everything that you have to say. So whether you are consciously knowing what you're saying, you're tearing all the paper off the wrapper. Like, let me just tear it all up for you. And now you're like, oh, I don't know how this is
That's okay,
what
yeah.
was you talking about? What was you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What was your body language? What in communication or in talking or in whatever you guys were doing, what where was the boundaries? And how did they get crossed? Who let them in? You let them in.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had to open up the door.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So who did? It's only one other person. And
Yeah.
you have to let them know, like, this is you. No, it's not cool. And a lot of times people just think that, oh, well, if I'm not having sex, I'm not cheating.
Right.
Really?
Well, not even that. It starts mentally. You
It
mentally
is
tap
mental.
out, and I think like a lot of people don't acknowledge the fact that maybe you have to tell your person before. I do this before you get to marriage, but if you're in a marriage, there's going to be highs and lows. You took vows. You did certain things that said, okay, when I'm up and when I'm down, I'm still going to stick this out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's okay to tell your significant other, male or female, we don't discriminate here. Listen, there's some things that I don't see the same. So this is how I feel right now.
Mm-hmm.
Since I feel this way right now, I'm going to communicate and express this to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all sit down and whether it's with counseling, whether it's with your pastor, the chaplain, sit down, a life coach,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
someone, marriage coach,
Right.
someone, counselor, something, someone, and you sit down and talk, okay?
Correct.
Because every day you might not view the person the same way. Your
Correct.
mind might have tapped out a long time ago. Then I
Correct.
don't think people realize that everyone that you come across, um, the season might expire at a
Mm-hmm.
certain time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Know when to tap out.
Mm-hmm. But you
Know
know,
when to tap out. Once you tap out, you tap out. Respectfully, this is how I feel. Do not straddle the fence and mess with people's emotions because these things do take place. Now, if y'all in marriage, y'all already said before you get to the marriage phase, because I've seen people go ahead and go through marriage and still be in love with somebody from 10 years ago.
mm-hmm.
So then why didn't you ever express that? Like, why is, I don't understand. Maybe it's just me.
No.
Why do people have a hard time with just communicating? If you really don't know where you stand, like
Mm-hmm.
far as your emotions, because emotions fluctuate.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute I might look good today, and I might say I feel good today. Tomorrow I might be saying I'm bloated. My face then broke out. I don't feel my very best. Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
how emotions are. That's how people they straddle the fence, right? I think you should have an open communication with your significant other,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and express to him or her. And on the other end, we, me, you, him, her, them, all of the above, have to be able to overstand and respect what is being said.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we build this whole
Mm-hmm.
delusional wall, and the person is telling you, hey, this is how we're trying to force something to go against the grain. Now, I said for a season. I think sometimes people are in the wrong relationships.
Yeah.
And I say that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people they had an expiration date and they were supposed to stop right then and there, or they were just
Right.
supposed to be friends and never was supposed to cross that much. Because to me, it all this complication, I
Mm-hmm.
don't really understand being complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It's really black and white. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like things not being said or expressed because I'm going off of how you moving,
Right.
because I can visually see that, and I can see here what you're doing. And
Correct.
I don't know, I'm going to sit around and I'm going to wait for a better day. And this is why people get mad and things begin to happen, because they felt like I should have, could have, would I should have left.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You get to that part and you sit back and you reflect and you're like, well, when exactly did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was this time and I saw it and I felt it, but I stuck around. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think it's a safe thing, or a safe place to sit around and wait for a change to take place?
Do you wait for a change to take place?
Mhm.
That depends on the condition of your heart. Uh,
Mm,
if you wait, um, then you've already been praying and you've already been seeking for your answer. So when you do that, some people do. Some people are able to salvage the relationship. Some are.
mm,
Some are not, because it's just like you said. It's just it's too toxic. It's time for you to go. You're exhausted. The odds you feel like the odds are already stacked against you because it's them and them against you.
mm,
Um, and a lot of times you just don't have it, you don't have that fight left in you, because now you're fighting a different fight. You're trying to, now you have to switch from fighting for your family to solely fighting just for your sanity. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Because
mhm,
now you're like, okay, it's either fight or flight. Do I fight to stay, Or do I just go ahead and ride that plane and check on out? You can have it. Take them.
Yeah.
Take
When
her.
you stay in something I love the word you just used, toxic. When you stay in something that no longer gives you peace, when you stay in something that gives you insanity, what tends to happen is
Uh-huh.
now that you're only one you have to acknowledge men and women out there internet land, you are one person, right? So you're still on this wonderful growth spiritual growth spurt. You're supposed to be on a spiritual walk all the time, and then you're trying to mend and make something work, right? And then you
Correct.
happen to have children.
Correct.
And I will tell you out there that most of the time you think you have it all together, but your outside energy and your aura,
Mm-mm.
it can cause serious damage and harm in the house. So
Yeah.
it's better to release
Yeah.
and let
But
time. Go ahead.
you have to be in a comfortable environment to release. You
Mm,
have to be in an environment where you are able to trust to release. You can't just release just to say that, I understand that you have to get it off of you, but it has to be a safe place because you don't want the reaction. You don't want to release to the wrong person and the reaction just sends you totally like spiraling out of control.
mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure that it is a safe environment. You have to make sure that you trust the person that you are releasing the information to. Because, like I said, once you release it and you made your decision, there
Stand on
is no retracting that. Don't retract your decision. A lot of people end up, they stay for the sake of the children.
it. I don't think that's good.
No. I feel that the children need the balance piece. If you're the piece, and when I say the peace, when I say you create the peaceful environment for them to survive. So when you are the peace, you have to know when to let that other part go. You got to know when to let go of the toxicity. You have to know when to let go of the toxicity
Mm-hmm.
because if not, then, and if you don't heal yourself and you have to get the help yourself, you are going to deposit that toxicity into your children because you're now let's say that you like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to self-heal me. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people don't have the money and they don't have
The
the
resources.
resources and
Mm-hmm.
they just can't do it. I get it. If you're going to self therapy or self coach yourself, make sure you got a tribe that's going to help you and hold you accountable for what you're saying. Because if you're saying that, okay, this is too much, I don't want this anymore, I don't want that. What steps are you taking to not go back to that? Because your children are also looking at you
Yep.
like, okay, is it okay to talk to these type of people or not? Because on Monday you saying this, but on Wednesday you over here doing this with the person that hurt you. So you got to be careful because that stirs up resentment, anger, bitterness, hatred in your children. Because now your children, it depends on the action. Your children are carrying all of that. Plus, they're carrying the fact that they're still trying to process all
What
of what
exactly is happening?
on the level that they're not processing it on an adult level, they're processing it on a child level. So
Mm-hmm.
by the time they get a year later, you're like, what happened?
Yep.
What was going on with you back then? What was going on? They have been going through depression, and you trying to get through, you're not seeing that. So that's why sometimes you have to separate yourself and work on yourself
Absolutely.
and still be mindful as to what's going on in your children's lives as well. Because you don't just X them off. Be at a specific age, I can't X off my adult child because I got a baby. No, you don't do that. Because she still needs me in a different manner than my 3-year-old. He needs me in a different way. Okay. So yeah, she'll you, but you have to get the help. You have to get the help. You have to get the help. And don't just stay for the sake of the children. No, because guess what? Even in yourself, you stay for the sake of the children. A couple years from now, you be like, you know what? You'll be in conversation and you'll just say how you feel. A couple years from now, you be like, this ain't what I wanted. I didn't want to do this. I didn't really want to stay here. I didn't. And now you're talking about what happened when you should have been talking about it back then. You should have been talking about it then. When you get the opportunity to share your truth, you share your truth. Don't carry it. Don't carry it and bury it. You got to share it with somebody.
And then time goes by. This is the part. Time goes by and you realize the environment was extremely toxic, right? So your children get older or grandchildren get whatever type of environment you live in.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize maybe through family counseling or just speaking in general that your mindset and the person and the characteristics that you had right then and there is not, because of, I just pray that some people eventually grow out of it. But like I said, some people do not. Mm-hmm. I had stories of 20 plus years relationship and they was never happy. I have no idea how you can sit in something for, and then they have animosity towards children. They have, and really the person is just not hit from cheating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. She has to tell her, y'all. It's okay. We just said happy birthday to her. She said, that's a year.
So people do change. But one of the biggest mistakes that people say is, you don't make me happy anymore.
Yeah, you have to make yourself.
I'm going to let that sit right there for a minute. You don't make me happy. I'm not supposed to make you happy. You're supposed to, your happiness lies on the inside of you. That's something that you have to tap into. So it's like, oh, I'm not happy with you anymore. Okay. What's the reason why? Why are you not happy? You need to figure out, you can have a conversation as to why you're not happy, but that for you to place that onto your spouse, like, you don't make me happy. You're specifically saying, I'm not happy in my life right now. It's because of you. I don't hold the keys to your happiness, mm-hmm. sir or ma'am. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, that's something that you have to come to the table already having. You already got those keys. I don't need you to make me happy. I need you to love on me, to express so that we can share happiness. I don't make you happy. That's no one individual is supposed to do that.
But that's why I said it goes back.
That's the issue, that's some of the issue, because it's just like we're placing barriers on your mate or your spouse that should not be. No, my happiness don't lie just in you, because it's just like, okay, if you're a social person, it's a lot of different things that make you happy. So it's just like, I don't know what to tell you on that part, sir or ma'am.
But that's why I said it goes back to, I don't want to keep saying mental health, but you really don't fully understand or understand. People have different viewpoints on how they conduct themselves on a daily basis. Like you just want to, if you're a social person, some people like to be social. Some people are out there in the spotlight. Then you have some people that are just homebodies, right?
Correct.
And you might have grew up in a certain way where maybe your household was ran this way. Okay, so because your household was ran this way, you're structured this way, then you go ahead and court with somebody and they're in the opposite. It's up to you to say whether or not I want to go, like we said earlier, go forth with this, or I want to go ahead and build and marry this person instead of saying down the line, well, I never liked this in the first place. I never did this in the first place. This is what caused me to go out and cheat. This is what caused me. This is the things that you felt from prior. They want you should expound or express that, right? No one can force you. That's what you already wanted to do.
Right.
You felt yourself swaying away, or you felt your eyes continue to roam, whether male or female, female or male. That's when, again, you were supposed to tap out and say, you know what, let's just date right now because my mind is not really focused on being monogamous. Let me go. Do not wait till you understand. And it's okay. That's a safe space to say that. Do not get into marriage years down the line. There's a whole family. There's obligations because you're obligated to certain things, and just say, you know what? You never did this, because at the pointing of the finger, the gaslighting is really, really real. The mirror, the delusions and illusions is really, really real. At the end of the day, you could have just left he or she alone.
Right.
And found somebody that you are more compatible with, right? That's the person I feel like gets caught cheating.
I'll take this to your sister.
I think someone that said in the chat, I can't find it. It said the tiger never changes his stripes.
Take that now.
Well, what? Oh, okay, they suffer from getting caught. Yes, they suffer. That's when I feel like that's when
Careful.
what's the saying? How does the saying the wool is full of? I don't know. I forgot the saying, but I believe that's when things begin to happen.
I'm sorry.
You want to go? Everything's okay?
Okay, you're okay. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
Hi, you're okay.
You on TV?
You're okay.
You're on live.
Sorry, y'all.
That's
She's okay when she was playing with her tablet.
Yeah, she's okay.
Okay, I forgot my train of thought. In the beginning phases of when you're courting and dating, before you get to marriage, I think it's important to really see if you like the person or not. Do not wait, because when I'm trying to expound, I just lost my train of thought. So y'all, I'm gonna get caught up. Down the line, people say, well, you don't make me happy, or I never liked, or just things like that around that. Those phrases, right? What I'm saying is, down the line, you realize people really never liked your character or never liked you in general. So they will say, this is what caused me to go out and cheat. What I'm trying to say is, no one could cause you to cheat.
No, because and at some point, those same actions that you were doing that they don't like now, they like it.
They like it. That's what attracted them.
So it's just what changed.
Yeah, those are excuses.
Right. Those are excuses because you liked it at some point, because you just now bringing it up 5 years later. It's been going on for 5 years. We've been doing this for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, there has to be a level of comfort for the communication. Like, when you're married, there is not a conversation that you cannot have when you're married.
I agree.
Even when you're dating, because you got to dig. This is somebody that you're talking about spending the rest of your life with. You have to do some digging, because it's like, you don't want to get married and be blindsided. Like, well, you're not a cooker. Well, I don't like the fact that you don't cook. Well, you knew that I wasn't a cooker when we was dating. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like,
Why switch up?
how am I just gonna automatically just switch up and just become a good cook? You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It's just specific things that you have to be mindful of. Don't take the red flags down and ignore them and paint them a different color. You want to paint them green because you like, I just don't want to be by myself. It's okay. It's okay. I would rather someone to be by themselves than to get cheated on. Because when you get cheated on, that pushes you into a whole different being. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like you got to refix. It's like they done threw a whole bunch of bricks at your glass wall, at your glass window, and it's broken in a million pieces. And now you got to pick up these pieces and fix yourself. Got to fix you. Got to fix you now. Now that you're fixed, this is what a lot of people do. Now that they're fixed or now that they're healed, they want to go back. What you going back for? Why are you returning? Just keep going. Just keep going. Even though you want them to see, feel, whatever, because you feel like, yeah, I'm healed, or I want to show them, or whatever. That's not even necessary. You can show them by keep going. Just keep going. Keep going. Because what you're doing is now we playing with fire. Because you already know, you already know that y'all got a 10 strong history. You already know that you can go back if that's what you really wanted to do. You already know. But why put yourself through that toxic cycle? Why keep going back to, like they say, a dog? Don't keep being like the dog and going back to his vomit and eating it. No.
Regurgitating in and out.
No, ma'am. Don't.
My mom is in the chat. She says people justify all kinds of things because they don't want to be truthful of their actions. People don't want to take accountability, period.
No, people don't want to take accountability. But guess what? When you're an adult, you have to take accountability. And guess what? If you are the cheater, take accountability for that and fix you. Figure out what's wrong with you. Put your pets on the leash. So you gotta put your pride, your ego, your temptation, and your self-control, put them on a leash. Those got to be on a leash before you say I do. You can't just be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna just stop this. No, you gotta really start. If you want to be a husband, you got to start doing those things. If that's what you want to do. If you're a wife, we a wife before we even some of us are wives and doing wifely stuff at 10. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to take care of our brothers and our sisters. You know what I'm saying? We got to be mommy and daddy till mommy get home. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's so much on us. The dynamics of the scale is tipped. You know what I'm saying? Because us as girls, it's just like, yo, we get robbed at young ages. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to we're taking care of blah, 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 dot, 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 dot. You know what I'm saying? And then you meet a dude that just does not, they fit the look.
Not the description.
Outside of the look, it's like they're a boy trapped in a man's body. And guess what? It is not a female's responsibility to help you deal with either your daddy issues or your mama issues.
We talked that. I was going to go right into that.
That's not for me to do. You to do that before we say I do. I shouldn't have to come into your life and be competing with your mama, your auntie, your cousins, and I'm last. That's the issue.
Or it never acknowledged. Or not acknowledged.
No. And we did already said I do? Yeah. No. Because you're allowing those type of you're allowing that precedent to take place.
Mm-hmm.
A man can control his household by how he treats his wife. If you want to know some things about a dude, pay attention to how he treats his mama and how he treats his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, if he's seeking to be married and his mama is clinging to him, you might not want to marry him.
Mm-hmm. It don't work out.
You're going to have to keep going through his mama to get to him. Why am I going through your mama to get to you and I'm already married to you?
And then realize it spews into the marriage and you realize
that spills over into the marriage. Now your mama feels like she got to be in everything, in every conversation, in every situation. We got to have a meeting and your mama is always present. That's a problem. That's a problem. So it's just like, come on. You got to be accountable for that. Mm-hmm. Accountability is key. What happened to you is key for you to fix. That's not for nobody else to fix prior to your marriage. You got to fix you. Now, you can come into the marriage and you can discuss what happened, but it's not for your mate to fix that. That's not their job to fix you. That's not their job. They're not to lay out a whole smorgasbord of happiness for you. No, because guess what? We say that changes over time. Our scales of happiness changes over time. This might make me happy for the first 5 years of our marriage.
Your emotion.
Now we hit year 6. I might not even want that no more. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to grow and develop and shed off what you don't need and regrow what you do still need, because that's what keeps it alive.
Absolutely.
It keeps it spicy. You got to keep it spicy. You got to keep it sexy, and you got to keep it sane.
Right. Absolutely. Like, okay, my mom said also you meet while cheating done, expect the person to change that behavior once it will continue with you. Now, when you meet someone in that time frame, or sometimes you do not know across the board. You walked into someone cheating, right?
Okay, so we talking about the side chick, or who are we talking about?
We can say them. I don't even like using that term. I don't like side chick. I don't like them. I told you I'm a little bit different. I think we meet people. You sometimes you just walk. You want to walk into something you really. Sometimes you don't know.
Like your blind.
That's what's going on. And I was explaining to my coworker. Sometimes you walk into something you don't know the past history from yesterday. Correct. And so, like I gave the example before. You meet somebody, you build in 6 months, a year goes by, and then they want to, because they never close the door on something else. People have a habit of just moving to the next without saying, let me close this door. Let me see how, and people don't take time out to heal.
No, they don't. And they always keep an open door policy.
Yeah. Because I'm going to spin the block and I'm going to see, and and it all goes down to the individual. Just say, I am not one to settle down, and I choose not to do that. It's okay. That's your right. Do not string people along.
Correct.
For years, and you sitting in front of the pastor or the imam or the chaplain or the somebody or the count somebody, and you trying to explain or express. And women, we take things to heart, and we can see when the toilet tissue ran out how angry you got, and when you ran out what you had on. The men be like, well, I don't know. Then you understand two different views, two different dialogues, and that's what tends to happen. Before you get to that point, I say always have open communication, because it is just very simple to say, you know what, I tapped out. And what I mean by tap out, like my mind is not there right now. I don't view you the same. It's respectful. It's really nothing you did for me or to me. It's just that my mind is not there. When you say that, also, just like you said, I have outside forces really speaking against, because when you have don't forget, not just the mother, but the best friends or the family members. And then you realize those people relationships was I told you, I learned the hard way. Those people relationships was really, really messed up. So this person you deal with, whether male or female, was taking advice from someone that really their stuff was messed up. So the blind leading the blind.
Correct.
And so it's okay to say, you know what, right now, this is not for me. I'm going to do not, because when cheating comes, it's so much time and energy wasted. It's so much money. Just it's a gross stunt that takes place. And then another thing that I find that is a problem is that kids are born during this time.
Yes.
And so a woman life, and I'm going to say that I'm going to speak on that. You put a big dagger. We don't say we do not like our children or you don't love your children, but you stopped or stunt or paused someone. And you know good and well you never had intentions on moving forward and had it to have the mother stuck. Now you can't communicate in the relationship. Now forget when the kid comes, it does not get better. Or matter of fact, it gets worse, and then it becomes a whole tit for tat thing. And then what happened? Most of the times, people grow up in single parent homes.
Correct.
Okay, so when it comes down to cheating, check yourself individually, Jamal. Check yourself individually, to see where you are at. And see if this is something, and it's okay to be by yourself.
It is. Alone. It is, and that. When you take the time to be by yourself, you realize what you are doing. You are more in tune with yourself. You are more aware of your surroundings. You are more in tune with communication. You can pick up quickly on miscommunication.
Yep.
And you can
set boundaries for yourself.
You're just in a better, you're just in a better mind frame to handle anything moving forward. When you take a step back, but see, everybody don't want to take that step back, because taking that step back means I got to cut off some clothes, I got to shed some layers, and I got to be real with myself.
Absolutely.
Because moving forward, I don't want to present this me to somebody else and I'm not healed. Because they could be a good individual. But if you still broke and if you still hurt, you're going to damage them. And it doesn't matter if you are the person that's healing or the person that or the cheater, because it's just like what the cheater does is they wait. They're trying to see what you're going to do. And they're trying to figure out ways to come back at you. To come back. So when you are saying you have to be upfront with your communication. Yes, I want to do this. No, I don't. And when you say no, you don't owe no explanation to your no. It's okay for you not to be okay when you're in your healing process. That's okay. So that's why you got to have your tribe in place to know, like, okay, hey, I'm not okay today. So let's figure out what I need to do. Yeah, you can have one day, but guess what? Tomorrow we going to lunch. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
you can't stay.
Support team is.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have a support team, and you just got to be authentic, and you got to be real with yourself. Like,
that's
okay,
it.
this is, and you got to also look at what could I have done differently. And
I kind of like that. And you know what it is? Sometimes people say nothing. Sometimes maybe I should have stopped back, because you have to. I don't like the term. What I could have done. When you get to that point, when you have been cheated on, I realize that the person might have always been like that. Maybe I'm saying it and maybe it's not. And you just really bypassed it. Like, okay. But I can't say, well, what could I? Because that means, I don't know. It's just that term doesn't work for me. Maybe I'm wrong outside the internet land. I told you I'm a little different when it comes down to that. Just reflect on. This is me. You could go ahead and go for it. Just reflect on just activities that have events that took place that led up to that that point, because it's almost like you're blaming yourself, in my opinion, for what has happened. And sometimes people, you really don't know a person. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you spend a lifetime, a long time, because there's always some angles and some daggers and some things that's thrown from left, far, right, and behind, right? And I cannot change you.
Correct.
I can outgrow you.
Correct.
But I cannot change you. So with that, I don't like certain terms that I can't get with. But I'm gonna let you go ahead. That's just me, my spirit. Y'all don't come for me, but that's just how I see it.
No, I mean that's important. And you use the term very good, outgrow. A lot of times in relationships, you either grow together or you grow apart.
Yeah.
But it's just, if you're growing apart and you're in a marriage, you need to figure out what is causing us to grow apart. And can we fix it? And if it hasn't gotten to infidelity, or if it hasn't gotten to cheating, what avenues do we need to attempt to make it better? How do we fix it? What do we need to do? Do we need to go out a little bit more? You need to figure out what you have to do. And then in relationships, you just can't get content. And like, okay, we just gonna keep on doing this repetitive cycle of this that we've been doing for 5 years, and nobody wants to change. You have to have conversations like, okay, cool, we need to change this. Maybe we need to do more of this and less of this, or vice versa. But you need to figure that out. That comes back to communication. You got to communicate. You can't be in a relationship and not talk. And then you just can't, business-minded people you can't conduct business 24/24 and
absolutely
neglect your family. You can't do that. If you coming in the phone, you want it to be of peace, then you have to come in, and sometimes you have to play that part that creates that peace. You know what I'm saying? So if it's peaceful, but you coming in and your spouse is busy and they doing this and they doing this, and they trying to cook you something to eat, and they got the kids and they doing the clothes and stuff, get off your phone and help do something.
Want to engage. I keep telling you, people don't want to do a lot.
Because then that's going to contribute to a lot more later. Because it's like, okay, you helping me do this, then it's just like, okay, we got more time to communicate and more time to talk about issues and not argue about issues. You coming in the door and you on your phone and you always running with your homeboys, and it's just you. Yeah, your spouse gonna be at your neck the first chance they get.
And you have to. I'm Keisha. You have to want to. People don't like doing nothing.
You do, but what people don't want to do is relationships are work.
Work, absolutely.
They're work. Nobody wants to do the work. Guess what they want to do? They just want to swing by, pick you up, check you out, see what's going on, but they don't want to do no work with you. They don't want to do no work with you. But they'll come by and check you out. But they're like, what you doing? That's too much.
And I'll check it. But when it's time for I don't know, people are weird. But when it comes down to this topic, cheating, I want out there in the internet land for y'all to examine. Now, we're not telling you to get up and just leave. We're just not telling you what you do or live for your peace and your sanity.
Yep.
Okay.
You have to do what's best for you. Because everybody's situation is not the same. Everybody can't up and leave like I did. They don't have the courage to do that. They don't have the strength to do that. Was it hard? Yeah, it was hard. But it's necessary and it's doable. Anybody can do it. You just got to have the willingness, and you have to have a plan and a strategy. And just because you do leave, that don't mean that you don't make it a temporary thing. It's a part. You have to actually take the time and strategize what you're going to do and implement that and stand on that, ladies and gentlemen. Stand on it. Don't stand under it, stand on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I'm at right now. This is what I'll tolerate. This is a no-go. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's that wonderful word I spoke about before, boundaries. You spoke about that before, setting straight boundaries.
Yes.
And those of y'all out there who want, let me hit the key terms that's used. Will they receive their karma? First off, the person knows what they're doing. It's good because they're not getting caught. Let me answer these questions now. It's good because they're not getting caught. Once they get caught in the karma that you are looking for, the term karma, you have to really define what it means. What you put out into the universe, you always get back. Mm-hmm. So if you put out good, you're going to receive it back. If you put out bad, you're going to receive it back. If you put out absolutely nothing, you get nothing back. Your harvest comes back nice and empty. Okay. Right. So when people do people wrong, the term two wrongs don't make it right. Let's stop that. Let's stop the ignorance because that's not taking accountability. Now, scales balance. Life has scales. Okay. So what happens is you continue to do the work and move forward, just like she just said. And what happens, it goes like this. And that's when the person, because they're fully aware, he or she are fully aware of what's going on. They know what they did. They did. They just got caught. Correct. And if they didn't get caught, they would have continued because people get comfortable. Correct. Okay, so those of y'all out there who keep asking when they get karma, if yes.
Yeah, well, you know what? I feel like this. I feel that they are going to get karma, but it does not have to come from you.
Yes,
it doesn't see it. You know, because it's just like saying, even though I got the gun, I don't have to pull the trigger on you. Because guess what? You're gonna pull the trigger on yourself. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is keep walking in my purpose. Keep walking in my plan. Keep walking the way that God wants me to walk, and I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about what you got going on or what you doing. Or is karma gonna come back into you? Yes, because God is gonna make sure that it does. That's just how it goes. It just is. It may seem like they're getting away with it to us because that's naturally, but everything happens in God's appointed timing. It could be 1 year from now, it could be 10 years from now. Yes. But what we have to do as individuals, you got to let that go. You can't hide. I mean, you can't harbor it, because when you harbor and suppress and act like it didn't happen, because a lot of times some people just like, oh, I just want to act like that didn't happen. It happened. You have to deal with it. We have to face to go forward. So we're facing forward. So then face the issue that devastated you. And guess what? When you face the issue that devastated you, you don't have to face that issue anymore unless it's your choice. Unless you choose to keep being in company of cheaters. That's your choice.
You got
that's your choice.
And your face was like, if you choose to. Yes.
The choice is yours.
Now Tabby's on, y'all. So Tabby, everybody's like, who's Tabby? She is one of the ladies that is under Emerald Charity. Now she says, and you might not always get to see it. Yes, you might not. We just expounded on that. Might not get to see it. As a matter of fact, I like what Lecia said, just keep looking forward. If you keep looking forward, I'm sorry, everyone spoke to me at one time. Samantha spoke to me. Okay. If you keep looking forward, the scales will balance out. Now, will you have the hurt, the pain, and all those? Because you're not going to always have some good days. I promise you. Matter of fact, you might also wake up 30 days from now or 2 years from now and you just want to scream because it's like, wow, not only did you get through it, you don't know how you couldn't see the vision of you getting to where you're at. The whole thing is to get not get past, you want to get past it, but acknowledge that it did happen. Acknowledge that you are worthy of marriage and a healthy relationship. Acknowledge that there are good people in the world. I don't like the fact that I feel like it's one of these initiations in life that we all unfortunately had to go through. I just don't like that part. But learn from it. There's always a lesson in it. And sometimes lesson be, that's my part. I'm learning that, y'all. I'm transparent just like the rest. Because it'd be like, oh, so my lesson was boundaries. And I was just like, well, because my thing is you express yourself how you want to express yourself. But I thought it could have been, in my eyes, it was respectful, but boundary. I don't know what your lesson was, but one of my lessons, my great lesson was boundaries, not letting people not only walk all over, like you just said, forward and backwards, but they get comfortable doing it. And once you say no, then
it's an issue. It's an issue.
That's an issue. Okay, so we all have different lessons. Y'all live in the chat. If you have any questions, acknowledge your truth about the situation. That's my mom, y'all. She was Jean's Hanson Hiller. She's on. Yes, acknowledge your truth about the situation. Yes, and unfortunately, it's one of those things. My mom used to tell me it happens, and I didn't want it. I didn't want that. We don't want to feel that pain. We don't want our children to feel that pain. We don't want to grow animosity and grow this hatred. Like I said, it's one of these life initiations that take place, and we didn't ask for it. But to learn a lesson and to come out or continue to walk on whatever path God has for you, because there's so much, and I have to say this, there's so much more to life. Life has a lot. Life can be very, oh, she back? Got a tablet back?
I'm on a dinosaur.
Okay.
It's okay. Life has so much to offer, and sometimes when we just focus solely, I know we was always taught that marriage and man and women build, and I told you Walt Disney messed me up. I don't know if I told you my spew. Go to college, buy a house, get married. I didn't know that was a fairy tale. Later on in life, that is not what happens in life. In fact, it's I don't. That whole image, they messed me up. One that believed that was supposed to take place, but it doesn't. But it was a illusion. And so everyone's process and path is not always the same. And some of us is not really meant to be in certain in relationships. Some of us are not always meant to be in marriages, right? And y'all have to acknowledge that. And I'm not saying y'all out there internet land, please do not come for me. But I'm just saying, when you sit and you speak to your elder or your whoever you speak to, that's going to guide you right. They will be able to tell you and assist you with this. Life has so much more to offer than trying to make someone stick to you that maybe is not even good for you.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. So any questions? Because y'all live in the chat. Don't get stuck on the situation. My mother's throwing out good stuff. Don't get stuck on the situation. Yes.
No, you don't want to. You don't want to get stuck on the situation. But you do have to take the time to heal. That is a process. That is a necessary process. You don't get to bypass that. You can't bypass that part. So you have to, once it happens, you got to okay, let me catch my breath. Once you catch your breath, you make a decision. Once you make your decision, then you have to heal. You have to heal. That is necessary. If you skip that part, what you do is now you take all of the residue from this situation and you carry it to a new situation, right? So that's just like what the old people, the old saying is, a leopard never changes its spots. It's always going to be a leopard.
Right. Somebody in chat said, once a tiger, always a tiger never changes stripes either. Okay, y'all coming through with the same.
Right. Right. So once you know what you're dealing with, then you make that decision you can make a decision to deal with it or not. Mm-hmm. That's like I said, the choice is yours.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think people could change over time? Because I mean, I do
think people do change over time because eventually you get tired. I guess they get tired of everybody leaving because eventually once people find out who you are and what you do, yeah, everybody don't stay. So you thinking that you got this whole community of people that's just gonna be with you? That gets old. People are looking, it depends on what your level of entertainment is. The things that we choose to entertain, those are the things that we love. So we have to be mindful as to what exactly are we entertaining. What you entertaining?
So, anyone have any questions in the chat? And if y'all happen to miss the live, y'all know y'all can go right to my YouTube channel, or it's always pinned on my Facebook page. Y'all can go ahead and rewind and take what you can take from it. If not, y'all can go ahead and fast forward to what makes sense, or just watch the whole thing. But if you have questions, you can go ahead and email me at 330 at emeraldempire330@gmail.com. Miss Lecia, I'm going to let her talk about Rector Walls again, so you guys know where you can contact her. She's going to give you your information now.
Yes. Okay. My contact information, I could be contacted at 704-352-2600. I do Wreck the Wall every other Friday. What is Wreck the Wall? You guys are asking. I come up with a topic, we discuss it, and we try to make sense of what is going on. So sometimes we have to release the wrecking ball on that issue. Mm-hmm. And whatever God says, that's what we do. Mm-hmm. Some things we got to pray about and fast about, and sometimes we have to have like a double session discussion about the situation because we have not wrecked the wall on that situation. Mm-hmm. So that's what it is. It's just us coming together for us to openly discuss issues that we don't normally get a chance to talk to, because once life starts lifing us, we don't always get a chance to come back and revisit a lot of different things. We got to keep going. Mm-hmm. But at some point, you got to let that ball go and hit that wall, especially if you tired. You sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's when you'll let it go. Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't discriminate. I've been on both shows. I don't know. Maybe I'm on to something. I don't know. We don't know, but they're beautiful. We have different. I don't know if it's like the other group, because I want y'all to know she is in North Carolina. I'm in New York. A lot of women that we are around, they're in different states. So it's we don't discriminate against anyone. That we're doing servitude. We're doing the work, and we're trying to assist those while we're going through our day-to-day life. As y'all can see, she's a mom too, so I'm gonna let her go off because Atala wants her attention. And you can always reach us. Her platform is, I will link it in my bio. Not my bio. You'll see it down here in the chat. But you'll see me post periodically when she has her group, and y'all can go ahead and chime on with this Zoom link. And so y'all can go ahead and chime on. If y'all don't have anything to say the first time, y'all can just go ahead and listen and get what you can get from it, because we out here supporting one another, especially the women. We all need some type of support team going on right now, whether it's just to say, you know what, today I had a bad day and I just want somebody to hear me say it. Okay, so we out here trying to do the work, and I'm going to continue. I'm going to move past my feelings, y'all. We're going to try to tackle down some more of these topics that y'all want to hear. And then, of course, she's always a guest on my show, so maybe we might have something else. Maybe we might do a collab. I'm talking. Thank you, God.
Oh, yeah, what? Collab with Wreck the Wall, girl.
And so we have some more. What we have next? Next week we have Evangelist Jean coming back on with recovery studies. reviews. We're getting great reviews on that. We speak about substance abuse, whether it is a drug of choice, alcohol, gambling, anything that is in that type of umbrella. Recovery studies, and she will be on next week, Wednesday or Thursday. You'll see the flyer. Don't kill me. Then we have Miss Yolanda coming on. She has a movie that she has coming out. So we have some wonderful guests that are coming on. So I thank you all for tuning in tonight. If you have any questions, 347-838-1411. And have a great night. Thank you, everyone.